Welcome to Triad News 360 for February 28th, 2018. I'm Juliet Jacob.
And I'm Ashley Brooke Daniels. Today on the show, we'll be focusing on a common student struggle of test anxiety.
And exploring the gaming world, the popular new Fortnite game is taking over and even causing people to fall out of their chairs.
And some of those games are causing a major controversy.
Most students experience some degree of test anxiety. Test anxiety refers to a combination of physiological, emotional, and psychological components that are caused by the stress of taking exams.
This may interfere with one's ability to think, reason, and plan. For some students, test anxiety is an unpleasant experience, but doesn't necessarily interfere with exam performance.
For most other students, test anxiety is not only an unpleasant experience, but also seriously interferes with exam performances.
Triad News 360 reporter Alexandra Miller talked with some students about the struggles they face on exam day.
I struggle to eat on a daily basis because of the stress.
So that's the biggest thing, just like not feeling prepared.
People always say, don't be such a worrywart. But with major tests coming up, students can't help but worry. When high schoolers are pressured by teachers, parents, and college admissions to receive great GPA and SAT scores, this strain can have lasting effects. Faith Hanshaw, a high school junior from Spring, Texas, discussed how test anxiety can harm students mentally and emotionally.
It's usually for my AP classes when I'm not 100% sure like what's going to be covered on the test, and I'm not 100% sure of what I know everything. So I stress the night before and I stay up super late trying to study and cram, and then I get to the test and I forget one thing and it just bothers me and stuff.
We then sat down with Zach Miller, a high school junior who is also from Spring, Texas. He discussed with us some of the physical side effects caused by test anxiety.
I'm literally throwing up because I'm very stressed. It's very physical for me, less mental.
According to the American Test Anxiety Association, test anxiety affects around 40% of high schoolers across the U.S., and this number is still rising. It's sad to think that some high schoolers are breaking out in a cold sweat over tests. This is Alexandra Miller with Triad News.
Test anxiety really affects a lot of students, not just high schoolers.
Definitely. However, there are many ways to keep your mind off testing, like playing video games. It's officially baseball season, but are the players only focused on the season ahead? I visited with the university baseball team that seems a little preoccupied with the popular video game Fortnite.
The video game that is dominating the nation, Fortnite, has also been dominating these athletes' priorities. The HBU baseball team has some players who seem more worried about winning the gold star and placing first in the digital world than they do in their own sport. Developed by Epic Games as a co-op sandbox survival video game released in July 2017 as a completely free-to-play game, has began dominating students and people everywhere. We asked them why this game has caught so much of their interest.
Fortnite is life. Fortnite is a lifestyle. Fortnite is the reason I'm alive. Kudos, Fusco.
It's like an animated video game, so like it's different than like Call of Duty, which makes it pretty fun. I play Fortnite every night, anywhere from like 2 hours to 5 hours.
Favorite gun? Golden Scar.
Purple Scar. We have a deal.
We have an agreement
That whenever the Purple Scar is on the map, I get it, and Gold Scar, he gets it. We always play together. We play with his Latin American friends, Andres and Ethan.
Come on, Fortnite, you can do it! Come on, baby. I will hide in this room and wait for...
I play Fortnite because it's a fun game. You know, all my friends play it, and it just strengthens our friendships from distances.
The game even has some of them falling out of chairs.
Stupid ass game. Stupid. Fortnite. As you can see, it's very addicting. I love Fortnite. He loves Fortnite. He loves Fortnite. Actually, I love Fortnite. We all love Fortnite.
Falling out of chairs? Wow, those baseball players are really devoted to Fortnite. But they're also really devoted to baseball. They swept the series this past weekend against the University of Dayton, And maybe they do actually have a secret weapon.
It is no surprise that many kids and teens play video games, but what may surprise you is what these games consist of.
Some video games are causing controversy that is catching the attention of the government leaders. Triad News 360 reporter Nate Greenstein has more on the money with the game.
16-year-old Braxton Miller loves to play sports games, and so do millions of other children. One popular sports game, Madden 18, made by EA, sold way past its $938,000 goal.
I've seen actual games, like I've seen basketball and watched it, and I want to see if I can make my own person and get them as high as I want to get them. And I feel like it's really immersive experience when you play sports games.
Video games are more than a kid staring at a screen. Countless hours of corporate and business meetings go into it. In these meetings, they come up with something called microtransactions. In sports games, this entails spending more money on the game to get a certain player for your team. The catch is the player is randomly given, so it takes multiple purchases to get the right player unless you're lucky.
Rocket League, I've probably spent like over $300 in crates. Fortnite, it was $10 for the Battle Pass. The Season's Pass for COD, which is $50, I think.
Activision, another gaming company like EA, released its end-of-the-year earnings for 2017. The company made $7.1 billion. $4 billion of that was from microtransactions. This works well in both netting a large amount of money, and not all of the purchases are bad.
In Rocket League, it's all aesthetics. Anything you buy, like any crate you roll, it's just to make your car look cooler. It's not making it any better, in a sense.
Countries and states all over are starting to see if this practice is considered gambling. Consumers are standing up for themselves. EA's recent Star Wars Battlefront 2 suffered a huge loss because of unfair microtransactions. The game was a flop. Reporting for Triad News, I'm Nate Greenstein.
Thanks, Nate. The video game industry is always looking for new ways to keep people playing and buying.
The average 9-year-old spends 13 hours a week playing video games. They make for very reliable consumers of video games.
13 hours? After a full week of school and studying, that is a lot of time for someone so young.
Coming up next on Triad News 360, we will learn something new about sheep shearing.
And more on that baby that the whole country is talking about. We'll be right back.
Littering is a problem that is slowly destroying our Earth, one piece of trash at a time. $11.5 billion is spent each year cleaning up litter among the United States. Cigarette butts account for 50% of all litter in America. Be responsible with your trash. Wait till you're near a park or gas station to safely throw away your trash in a trash can. We only get one planet. Stop the littering.
How am I going to pay for this?
Welcome back to Triad News 360. I'm Juliet Jacob.
And I'm Ashley Brooke Daniels. Ever wondered just how hard it is to give a sheep a haircut? The annual sheep shearing process usually takes place at the beginning of the spring to get rid of the sheep's heavy wool before the warmer weather creeps in. This past weekend was shearing day at the local farm, and Triad News 360 reporter Maximilian Thomas was there to get the inside look on what black sheep has to go through every year for that bag of wool.
Bags upon bags of what looks like cotton candy, though I doubt anyone would want to eat this fluff. Even though it's still winter, there are some that are losing their coats a little early this year. It's the 24th annual shearing day at Rising Meadow Farm. This is an event where families can enjoy the scenery, have some good food, and of course, observe sheep shearing.
Well, it's fun. It's fun. It's probably the most intimate relationship between that you can have with a livestock animal.
Kevin Ford has been shearing sheep for 40 years, but one has to ask, what does it take to do this for a living?
You have to be trained. I went to Ireland to begin with and got some lessons from cousins there, and then I spent two months in New Zealand, a week of it being at a course taught by the New Zealand Wool Board, and then there's a long training period actually.
The sheep, along with other livestock, are shaved every year for their fleece. It is gathered, washed, and processed to make yarn and other products. But some just come to the farm for a change of pace.
It's relaxing here.
Relaxing. Yeah, we saw that they were having the sheep shearing today, and I thought it'd be fun to bring our kids to experience the farm and the shearing event that they have, and going to be out in the countryside for the day.
Indeed, it was a relaxing day for the families, but perhaps a little hair-raising for the animals. This is Triad News 360, Maximilian Thomas reporting.
Approximately 90% of the world's sheep produce wool. One sheep can produce anywhere from 2 to 30 pounds of wool annually. That's a lot of wool.
It was a cool, brisk morning for some of the volunteers and fundraisers last Saturday. It was the annual Polar Bear Plunge. This event raises money and awareness for the Special Olympics in North Carolina. The plunge was at Wet n Wild Water Park in Greensboro. The water was set to a cool 50 degrees. The price per person was $50 of fundraising, and if you raised more than $50, you would receive a free gift. Teams consisted of the local fire department, police department, high schools, and even a fraternity from a university's campus. This is truly a great organization to get behind, and if you have a chance, you can volunteer your time to help out at the Special Olympics. Did anyone notice how the thunder of the Super Bowl was a bit stolen by celebrity news? Kylie Jenner finally announced the birth of her first daughter with artist Travis Scott. Triad News 360 reporter Emma DeMeo has more on the story.
The country was all abuzz with the frenzy of Super Bowl 52 on Sunday, February 4th, but that wasn't the only big news story that day. Kylie Jenner, the youngest of the Kardashian family, broke what just so happened to be a 9-month silence with just one Instagram post saying, quote, "I'm sorry for keeping you in the dark through all the assumptions. My pregnancy was one I chose not to do in front of the world. There was no gotcha moment, no big paid reveal I had planned. My beautiful and healthy baby girl arrived February 1st, and I couldn't wait to share this blessing." For nearly 9 months, rumors were being spread rapidly about Kylie being pregnant, while her two sisters, Khloe and Kim, were simultaneously going through their own pregnancies. Ellen DeGeneres, a woman of the people, and other talk show hosts never held back when interviewing celebrities about who may know a thing or two about Kylie's pregnancy.
Is Kylie craving things yet?
What do you mean?
She's pregnant.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
Come on now.
How long have you known about Khloe's pregnancy, and have you seen Kylie Jenner's bump?
Khloe, a while. I saw her at Kim's baby shower.
Right.
And I won't say anything about Kylie.
You mean mentioning that they were pregnant?
Yeah.
All right. They're not, but you have lots of pregnant children right now. You do. You have a whole bunch of them.
Oh, here, I could feel where this is going.
No, not
She's
yet.
trying to trick me into confirming pregnancies.
A day after the birth of Kylie's child with artist Travis Scott, who tweeted, quote, 2/1/18 forever, new rager in town. Rumors were flying all throughout Twitter of the possibility of the couple's child being named Mariposa. Posy for short, Spanish for butterfly, was revealed. Fans quickly started to put pieces together. Kylie soon cleared the rumors with one Instagram post. The post showing baby girl's hand clutching Kylie's thumb with the caption Stormy Webster with an angel emoji put all rumors to rest. Some say that the name Stormy may hint at the storms caused by none other than the butterfly effect. Only time will tell. For now, good luck to new mom Kylie.
It's amazing to see how one celebrity can captivate the entire world, all the while keeping the biggest secret of her life. The world was in shock.
1 in 3 Americans report driving while drowsy in the past year. We know how dangerous texting and driving and drinking and driving can be, but sleeping and driving? Triad News 360 reporter Nicole Morgan is live with more on how sleepy you can get when you're behind the wheel. Nicole?
For Triad News 360, I'm Nicole Morgan. We're here on one of High Point's busiest streets. This is the intersection of US North 311 at Eastchester. People are on their way home from their commute. They're thinking about what to feed their kids for dinner, what time they need to be at school tomorrow morning. What they're not thinking about is whether they're driving while drowsy. This is a serious problem, according to the CDC. 1 in 25 drivers in the past 30 days are estimated to have driven while drowsy. Now, what do these numbers mean? 72,000 car crashes were attributed to drowsy driving in 2013 alone. And of those drivers, 800 people were killed in these accidents. So, what are some signs we can look out for while on the road? Well, if you're hitting rumble strips on the freeway, or if you're missing your exit, or having trouble remembering the past few miles, along with yawning or blinking heavily while driving, you should pull over to the side of the road or switch drivers. Remember, if you're too drunk to drive, you call a designated driver. If you're too drowsy to drive, you should do the same. For Triad News 360, I'm Nicole Morgan. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Nicole. Drowsy and driving can really be dangerous. AAA says in order to stay awake, take breaths, sleep plenty the night before, and drink a caffeinated beverage 30 minutes before the drive.
Coming up next on Triad News 360 is the world of sports.
How are our High Point University Panthers doing? We will find out after this break.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
Welcome back to Triad News 360. I'm Juliette Jacob.
And I'm Ashley Brooke Daniels. Here with us is Triad News 360 sports reporter Mike Taylor with the Panther Update. Mike?
Thank you, Ashley. First off, we have men's basketball. The Big South Conference first-round games got underway last night as Longwood traveled to HPU to take on the Panthers in what was going to be a hard-fought battle. High Point trailed by 11 points at the half, but was unable to mount a comeback in the second half and was knocked from the tourney by a final of 68-55. HPU's Jihad Proctor led all scorers with 16 points, and freshman Justin Mutz had 11 points and 4 blocks. Senior Austin White scored 6 points in his last game in the purple and white. The Panthers finished their season with a 14-16 record. Moving on to women's basketball, the women's basketball team played Radford last night in its final home game of the regular season. The Panthers dropped the senior night by a final of 63-48. Senior Kat Harris reached her goal of 1,000 career points, along with other seniors playing in the game, who were Kennedy Curry, Ambria Davis, and Hunter Fleming. Moving on to men's lacrosse, the High Point men's lacrosse team dropped this game at St. John's 16-11. Freshman Asher Nolting netted 3 goals and 1 assist. He's the first Panther since 2016 to score at least 3 points in 5 straight games. The Panthers are still looking for their first win of the season as they travel to Robert Morris this Saturday. Moving over to baseball, High Point baseball was on the road last night as they took on 20th ranked North Carolina, losing to the Tar Heels 10-0. The Panthers are coming off a 3-game sweep of Dayton Flyers this past weekend, and this loss brings the Panthers to an even record of 4-4. Moving on to track and field, the High Point men's track and field team finished fourth at the Big South Indoor Championship Saturday at Liberty University. Sophomore Pablo Romero successfully defended his heptathlon title while setting a new school record, and freshman Hassan Bushrath took home Big South Freshman of the Year honors, while senior Alejandro Juan Torres was selected to the all-academic team. The High Point women's track team placed third in the Big South Indoor Championship, and Cretan Case was named a Big South Scholar Athlete of the Year and was also selected to the All-American team. Famke Heinz was also recognized as an HBU Student Athlete of the Week after winning 2 events. Finally, for sports, the High Point men's golf team began spring play this week at the Wexford Plantation Intercollegiate in Hilton Head, South Carolina. High Point sophomores Brandon McDougall and Arche Bartolomucci both carded 68 in the second round, propelling HBU to a 7th place finish in the 18-team field. With that, that's all for sports. Thank you, Ashley and Juliet.
Thanks, Mike. That's all we have for tonight. Thanks for joining us. I'm Juliet Jacob.
And I'm Ashley Brooke Daniels. We'll see you next time on Triad News 360. Good night, High Point.